Hello and welcome to a new week of meals. I am serving a coleslaw salad here alongside some air fried chicken thighs. So the salad is dressed with the deep roasted sesame dressing that I got from the store by the brand Kewpie. It's so delicious, super sesame tasting. If you like that, you will love this dressing. I topped the salad with some chopped peanuts and some green scallions or just green onions, and that was the first meal of the week. Next up, I am trying my hand at Oklahoma fried onion burgers, I think they're called. Recipe will be linked down below. I used the recipe as a guide to put this burger together. It was delicious. If you love caramelized onions, you will love this burger. I'm just taking some thinly sliced onion here, and I'm basically going to try to caramelize this. I think the best way to do this, I've read, is to do this low and slow so you don't really char the onions necessarily, but they develop this really sweet caramelized flavor. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that right here, and it does take some time, so it does take some patience, and I think I probably could have let that go a little bit longer, but you'll see in just a little bit what it looks like in the end. In the meantime, I am making some dressing. It's called like a secret sauce. It's in essence a Thousand Island dressing, but it uses dill pickle juice, which I thought was really cool, and instead of onion powder like I normally do, it uses garlic powder. So mixing that up to taste, and then that's going to be ready to serve with the sandwich. Onions, you can see they've browned nicely. I probably could have let them go a little bit longer, but they are going to continue to cook on the skillet once I add the meat. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make four? Yeah, I'm going to make, wait, did I make four? Yes, I made 4 patties. I defrosted some ground beef, and I was just letting them sit at room temperature with some salt and pepper. Very simple. So what I've done is I've kind of divided the onions up into 4 separate piles. 3 of them I'm going to add the ground beef patty because I know those are going to go with onions. Colin is not a super big fan of anything besides a plain burger, so his I'm just going to do up separately, and I did leave a bit of the onion in case he wanted to try it, but he didn't. So we're doing these here. I'm going to smash the burgers into the onion, and then I'm going to weight that down with my cast iron press, and then going to let that continue to cook until the burger is more or less halfway to 3/4 of the way done, the way I like it, before I flip them over. You can see how much the ground beef is cooked here. They're starting to turn a little bit brown along the edges. I'm going to carefully try to flip this because it's very greasy. I did try not to splash any oil on myself. So I'm just going to carefully flip all of these burgers and then finish those off until they are done to my liking. Kind of like more of like a medium well, actually closer to a medium well burger. So here we go. Flip that over and then let that finish off. Adding some cheddar cheese here. I'm gonna pop a lid on here just to let that melt a little bit. I got super impatient. I don't really like trying to remove burnt cheese from the skillet, so you can see it's not super melty, but good enough, right? It's going to continue to melt because the burger is nice and hot. So that is done now. I'm basically going to remove it from the skillet. I'm going to place it in between the hamburger buns. These are keto burger buns, and then you can see just along the side here, and I'll show you a little bit later, I put that secret sauce on there. Just going to sandwich that, smash it together, and then I'm going to serve these simply with just a side of grapes. Real easy. Yeah, I'm still recovering from all the graduation activities. If you didn't know, my son graduated last week, actually 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago. Well, I think it'll be 2 weeks ago later this week. But yeah, there we go. That is the Oklahoma burger and some grapes. Very simple, super delicious. Give this one a try. Again, recipe is linked down below. Next up is a meal that's not really a recipe, but I got these on clearance, these mushroom Angolotti packages, and they're basically like ravioli, like mushroom stuffed ravioli, made up a side of some garlic bread, so that's sourdough with just garlic, minced garlic, parsley, and a bit of salt and pepper. There you go, topped with some leftover pasta sauce that I had and some Parmesan cheese. Really easy, super fast, and really, really cheap. And delicious. This one was inspired by the gray, gloomy weather. I am doing a Crockpot chicken Posole Verde. I've done this before on this channel, I believe, but I'm just going to show you here. It's basically dump and go. I've got some somewhat still frozen bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, and I've defrosted it just a little bit in the microwave. But to that, I am adding 2 jars of salsa verde, and then what I have left of my chicken bouillon, which is probably, I would say, about 2 tablespoons. So I'm just emptying that out, and then I'm adding a bit of water to more or less almost cover. I'm still going to add a can of hominy here, and that's going to bring the water level up to make sure that the chicken and the rest of the ingredients, well, it's basically the hominy and the chicken are covered with the water. So I'm just going to stir everything around, push things down to make sure everything's covered, and then that's going to get the lid on it, and will cook for about 8 hours on low. Just before the 8 hours is up, I will take the chicken out and shred it. You can do this with chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast would be the easiest, but this is what I had, so I'm using the bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. Here we go, doing my best to get as much of the meat off of the bones as possible. I've set aside the skin because I don't really like that texture when it's just kind of boiled. Once the chicken is shredded, I've added it back to the crock pot, and that's pretty much ready to go. Gonna give it a taste to make sure it has enough salt and all that stuff. While that is waiting, if you can hear the dogs, hold on, I'm gonna put you on pause here, get the dogs situated. And we're back, sorry for that real life incident. In the meantime, I am preparing the toppings for the chicken posole. So I've got some fresh radishes here. I'm just slicing up in sort of like half moon shaped, and then I'm going to serve that with real easy coleslaw mix. You can do shredded cabbage if you'd like. I went the easy route, just bought the prepackaged stuff and it's ready to go. It has some carrot in it as well. Just going to top the posole with the cabbage, some radish, squeeze of lime. This is so delicious. It was so comforting. It just, the flavors are to die for, I think. I really like them. You can add some tortilla strips if you'd like, or add anything else you like. But this was such a warm, comforting dish for me. It was the perfect foil to that gray, gloomy evening. The 7 chicken thighs that I used made a lot of soup, so best thing about this is the leftovers. So I definitely enjoy the leftovers. So good. Last step, still keeping it really simple, with sort of like a copycat Napa chicken salad from Panera. Of course, I am going to just tweak it with the ingredients that I happen to have, so you'll see later on what those are. Right now I'm starting off with some grapes, so I purchased some red seedless grapes. They're kind of tiny, so I cut them in half. If they are larger, you might want to quarter them or something like that. I also had some leftover sliced onions from the Oklahoma fried onion burgers, so I'm going to kind of slice that up. Now normally I use my chopping board, but it was not clean. I hadn't washed it yet from the night before. So here I am with the plate and a tiny knife. So this is not my go-to technique, but you know, it worked in a pinch, and you know, saving myself a little bit of extra work here. So I'm going to add also half a celery stalk for the time being. I do end up chopping up the entire, it's a celery heart actually, so one of those whole things I'm going to add to this. So just going to dice everything up, and then you'll just see in a little bit, just going to put this together. It's so easy and really delicious. This is actually a really good recipe for summer as things start to heat up outside. You want a nice cool meal to have that's nice and filling. This is a good one to have. I'm going in with 2 cans of chicken breast. You can definitely use fresh chicken breast or something like you if you want to cook that up. You can. I'm going with the can because it was fast and super easy. I am going in with some mayo, some salt, some pepper. I'm going to add just a teeny tiny splash of apple cider vinegar. You don't have to add that if you don't want to. Again, this is all to taste, so add as much or as little as you want. You can add onion powder if there's not enough onion flavor to this. If you want to spice it up, you know, add some, I don't know, cayenne or whatever you like. So this is up to you and your taste buds. So I'm kind of smashing the chicken here, but I'm really trying to break it up so they become smaller little pieces. So here we go here, mixing in that mayo, and then I'm just going to dump in all the ingredients that I prepared ahead of time. The grapes, the celery, and the onion. And there is the second half of that celery heart that I chopped up. And then I'm also going to add some pecans. And this is where really I normally add sliced almonds or chopped almonds, but I don't have almonds, so I'm using pecans. So this isn't exactly a copycat of the Panera version, but there you go. It was delicious. I love the celery. I love adding nuts because it gives it a nice crunch. I'm gonna give it a taste. A little bit of everything on that forkful, and then that is the finished salad. Copycat Napa chicken salad with my own little twist to it. And then I just ate mine like this. Guys had theirs on some leftover hot dog buns from the previous week. Kind of thought of it like a lobster sandwich. But it wasn't. It was chicken. It was Napa chicken with some leftover Doritos from Colin's camping trip. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the meals for this week. I really appreciate you guys stopping by, spending some time with us, and I will see you in the next video. Take care until then. Oh, and there are the dogs. Bye-bye.